Hi guys, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So a bit of a vlog style intro today, and I'm just in my new car. I've just got this one and really excited to get hold of it. Just getting used to the way it handles a little bit. It's a bit tricky at first, isn't it, sometimes? But anyway, yeah, we're going to get inside, get on with the video today. I'm just going to park up. Here we go. See you inside, guys. Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today we're going to be having a look at 5 really great inexpensive fragrances that I'm quite keen to share with you, and in most cases I think I've never mentioned them, or hardly ever. I think in most cases I have not mentioned them before, and a lot of them I think might be new to the YouTube fragrance community. Before we get into that, if you are interested to join up to my Smelly Army private members club over on Patreon, there's a link in the description below. There you get an extra video every week, a full-length Mr. Smelly video, plus very often another little bonus one. Lots of interaction, great community, and they've got over 100 members. And right after I shoot this, I'm going to be doing another video, a little bit about my hobbies outside of YouTube and a bit of personal stuff that I wouldn't normally put on the channel. So it's really great, the content in there, I think, and there's loads that you can already watch if you join up today. Love to see you in there. If not, no problem. Let's get on with the video. One other small thing, lots of people keep asking about my upcoming fragrance release, Gravitas Pour Homme. This is an example of pretty much how the bottle will look. The label is just a very simple one to give you a rough idea, and I've got the only actual juice I have here. This is mock-up juice in here. In order to get any quantity of this made and get it out to you people, we need your support on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter campaign is launching very soon. A few logistical issues to get that up and running. As soon as it's up and running, we'll let you know. Fantastic fougere fragrance, very much a Mr. Smelly smell that I think a lot of you, if you like my channel and you like the kind of fragrances I like, are going to love. Let's get into the actual video subject for today then. Enough of me waffling. And we've got 5 amazing, I think, cheapies that I've been really excited mostly to discover quite recently. A couple of cases I've had them a little bit longer. Okay, so let's dive into it. It's not really a seasonal list. A lot of these will be quite good for autumn that we're in now, but some of them a bit more fresh and year round. So one thing that I've really got interested in lately is the idea of aftershaves and the shaving world, the wet shaving thing. I don't actually do wet shaving, but sort of tied in with that world, there are a lot of aftershave splashes, maybe barbershop type smells as you would expect, and I love that kind of stuff. And this is one of the fragrances I've discovered through that interest. It's called FRA Rinic, and it is from a company called Extro Cosmesi, which I guess means cosmetics. They're based in Italy, and I believe it's a man called Donato Ciniello, fantastic name, who makes these aftershave stroke eau de toilettes. It says aftershave and eau de toilette, so it's designed as a splash, which you just put on your face after shaving, but I think the concentration's strong enough that we can also call it an eau de toilette. And it's they've got a whole range. I've got 1 or 2 others that are really good as well, but this is currently my favourite. The official notes on this are petitgrain spices, jasmine, violet, tuberose, ylang ylang, orange blossom, incense, myrrh, woods, patchouli, musk, labdanum and vanilla. But that's really confusing because it doesn't smell much like any of those things. What it is a fantastic citrusy barbershop style fresh splash cologne that is really high quality smelling to me. I've got through an absolute ton of it, and I think they're made by hand. It's got that real kind of craft aftershave feel, which I really like, but not with the heavy niche price that you get if you buy an artisan perfume from the the proper fragrance world. They're going to be hundreds of pounds. Obviously maybe the ingredients and how they do this isn't quite so fancy, but it smells absolutely fantastic. I showed some to Greg from the Greggy Boy 76 channel, and he tried it out. I think he's bought a bottle actually, and he said it smells exactly like going to a Turkish barber's where they often use very lemony colognes, but they tend to be incredibly cheap and cheerful. This has got real lasting power on my skin. Really great. If it's like if you mixed bergamot, mandarin, lemon, every citrus imaginable into a sort of indefinable, wonderful fresh citrusiness with a sort of crisp white musk. If you like things like Creed's Pure White Cologne, it's got a little bit of that kind of vibe about it. Also, Claire from the Smurfy Girly channel picked up on a little bit of anise or licorice note in there as well, which I like. It doesn't have any of that menthol type of note that a lot of the aftershave splashes like, which can be a bit annoying, so I like that about it. And it's a superb, fresh barbershop, you know, if you like your Acqua di Parmas. FRA Rinic, love that, and that's from Extro. I think it's sold out on the Executive Shaving Company where I bought mine, but if you Google, hopefully you can find it. Not sure how easy it is to find outside of Europe. You may be able to track it down. I hope so, guys. So let's move on to the next one on my list, and it's going to be one more freshie, something, you know, pretty different kind of company though, and this is by Tommy Hilfiger. And the fragrance is called, let's see if we get the logo sharp, it's called Eau de Prep from Tommy Hilfiger. So this one was released a few years back, relatively recent, but I think it may be discontinued in production. I'm not sure, because they still seem to be selling it off cheap everywhere. You can get this for, don't know if I mentioned it was £12.50 for the 125ml on the Extro, by the way. This one, you can get it around about £20 and under for your 100ml bottle. It's by Rodrigo Flores-Roux, the man who did the modern version of Hubigant's Fougère Royale. He also did Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, I think Varvatos Artisan Pure, so he knows how to do a fantastic fresh fragrance, and he's done another one here. Main notes I get out of this is kind of grapefruit and a clean laundry type of thing with a little bit of fruity sweetness. The official notes are grapefruit, clary sage, green notes, geranium, lavender, juniper pepper, oak moss, amber and suede. Again, you're not going to pick up on all of that complexity at all, but it does what it says on the tin. It's got that kind of preppy, fresh, clean cut feel in a very nice kind of timeless, elegant way. It doesn't have the sort of screechy ambroxany notes or any of the kind of modern blue fragrance fresh stuff that we get in a lot of modern designer releases. A little bit more, again, maybe in the sort of Acqua di Parma territory. Reminds me a little bit of Pamplalune by Guerlain because of a really nice bright grapefruit note. So if you want grapefruit freshness, clean white musks, bit of a clean laundry feel, a little bit of kind of fruity sweetness, and a bright and breezy everyday fragrance one for when you don't really feel like wearing a special fragrance, but you just want to get something good on you to be fresh, clean and presentable, perfect for a white shirt, going to work, the office. Really, really good for the price. And yeah, I'm really pleased to have discovered that one recently. So let me know if you've tried Eau de Prep from Tommy Hilfiger. Moving on, another one now that I did an unboxing video of, and it was quite a popular video. A lot of people in Poland said, well, that's just a really cheap dad smell from Poland that we've had for years. But I judged it only on smelling it, and I really liked it. It's called Brutal Classic Intense. The company producing it is called La Rive. I think it used to be made by a state-owned company in Poland in the communist era, which I believe was called Miraculum. But I think there was initially a Brutal Classic, and now there's a Brutal Classic Intense. So I don't know which. Obviously, the original probably came first. What the difference is, maybe this was released later, I don't know, but it's a great fragrance. So we'll say 1977 release, but don't quote me. Notes on this one are grass, lavender and citruses, jasmine, geranium, cloves, sandalwood, vetiver, patchouli, woody notes, amber, musk and oak moss. It's an aromatic fougere, and apparently it was modelled as a clone of the original Aramis for men. Which is a very spicy masculine leather fragrance. But is that the original Brutal Classic and not the Intense? Because I get a bit of similarity but not masses with that. For me, this one is a fantastic green, vibrant fougere with a really nice lemony bergamot citrus opening, which doesn't seem to be mentioned in the notes. I also pick up, I think, on a rather nice neroli element and petitgrain, that kind of stuff. So if you like really green, fresh fragrances, but you also like citrus, which is exactly the combination I often really love, this could be a really good option. It does have a little bit of that old school, mossy, green, piney, maybe hairy chest, masculine kind of thing in the dry down, woody. But it's also got this very likeable, affable freshness in the opening. It reminds me a bit of Geoffrey Bean's Bowling Green, another inexpensive classic. The price on this one, I picked it up on eBay, shipping from Poland. It was about £5 plus about the same postage, £4 odd. So under a tenner for my 100ml. Brutal Classic Intense, great if you like your old school kind of classic fougere fragrances, but it's not a sort of in your face, hairy chest, really dated smelling one. I think it's a timeless, elegant classic. Tom Ford could release a fragrance in the same vein today and call it Vert de whatever and sell it for, $200 or more. And yeah, maybe there's some cheaper ingredients in this than you would find in a Tom Ford, but there's not a huge amount in it. So if you like old school fragrances, maybe a bit of polo green, but it's brighter and fresher than that, definitely worth checking out. Brutal, classic, intense, stunning, everyday scent. Probably more for the mature man or people with more mature tastes. Now for a real classic in the fragrance community, but one I've barely mentioned, if at all, on my channel, and I have finally decided that it is good and I do like it. It's Versace's The Dreamer, first released in 1996, the last fragrance released, I think, for men during the lifetime of Giovanni Versace, and it's a beautiful and very comforting, yes, rather dreamy, powdery fragrance from Versace. The notes for the fragrance are clary sage, lavender, mandarin, geranium, rose, tobacco, cedar and tonka bean. The main ones I get out of it are the tonka and the tobacco, a bit of lavender too, and a kind of sweetness. It smells sort of synthetic, I must admit, but synthetic isn't always bad, and it has this kind of powdery, soft sweetness, a certain freshness. Actually, that a lot of people do mention that the mandarin's there, so a sort of sweet citrus freshness mixed with tonka bean, lavender, and a tobacco accord that may remind you of Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme, which had a bit more of a citrus fougere feel than this one, but this leaning a bit more in the oriental genre maybe. Very nice for autumn, a comforting, sweet, sort of synthetic, but just something about it that if you're in the mood, it really goes with a, when you're wrapped up in maybe wearing this kind of clothing, a jumper and a jacket, maybe an outer coat, and you want to go for a walk in the woods or something. Versace The Dreamer puts me in that kind of mood, and it's really, really nice stuff. And you can pick it up, I think, for if you shop around under £20 or around about that kind of mark for 100ml or equivalent prices elsewhere in the world. Now, last, but as I always say, no means least, the order of the fragrances is random in this video. We have an Interlude Man smell-alike, my only clone in the video. So this is Amouage Interlude Man, cloned by another company whose name I'm going to struggle with, and I might need the box to do that. Hang on, be right back. Try not to knock anything over. Right, the company are called Ard Al Zafaran. Okay, so it's a Middle Eastern company, obviously. What I like is that you get really nice presentation. There's a sort of gold cardboard insert as well, and the box is very, very similar to Amouage's Interlude Man, and the bottle is really heavy, and it's got that nice same dark blue colour. It's an absolute disgraceful rip-off, isn't it? But they've got away with it. And of course, Interlude Man, known as the Blue Beast, I have just the decant. Very potent stuff: bergamot, oregano, pimento, amber, frankincense, apoponax, cistus, myrrh, leather, oud, patchouli, sandalwood. Very woody, smoky, spicy fragrance. Very powerful, very potent, very in your face. If you compare the real thing to this, they're very, very close. You'll pick up on perhaps a bit of difference, particularly in the opening. The other one maybe being preferable. There's really not a lot in it though, and in the air, most people will have a very hard time telling the difference. So it is a beast. If you like a bit of oud with smokiness, kind of burnt woods, spices, complexity, very kind of masculine alpha male, you've got to be probably going out and wanting to be noticed to want to smell like this. I like the fact that for that very cheap price, which I didn't mention yet, I got it, I think it was around about £17.50 on eBay in the UK. You get tremendous presentation, and a really nice, I mean, it could be a niche fragrance, couldn't it? No one's going to know any difference, I don't think, in the air if you wear this, or Interlude Man by Amouage. Sensational value, great fun, I love it. So, let me know what you thought of my picks. Hope to see some of you over in the Smelly Army Private Members Club. Look out for Gravitas Pour Homme, the Kickstarter. Obviously, I'll announce it on YouTube when that becomes live, which will be very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye-bye. Smelly.